So I wanted to bring about some levity in this very serious atmosphere. So both Diptiman and Apurva have been directly or indirectly very influential in my life, also in my research career, without their actually being aware of it. But I wanted to share some anecdotes, personal recollections. And when I think back, in spite of the fact that Apurva was a man of few words, most of my recollections are about him. And so I will recollect some of the incidents pertaining to him. So I think one thing is that I think the first time Apurva looked at me and smiled was probably 4 years after I joined as a faculty member. So one of the first courses that I taught after joining here was quantum field theory. And I looked at the syllabus and I said, no, I don't want to follow any of it. So then after 10 lectures had gone by, Apurva came into my office and he scolded me and he told me, you have to teach Wigner's classification theorem. So 10 lectures had gone by, so there was no way that I could recover myself. So then around 5 or 6 years down the line, I retaught quantum field theory and said, no, I must now take up his advice and teach Wigner's classification theorem finally. And it's a very important theorem because it tells you what you actually scatter in quantum field theory. So I remember getting scolded by Apurva twice. So one was this. And the second occasion was, he came to my office and told me, your students have been doing very badly in my course. So I said, why are you scolding me? You should scold them. And then this is where at that point of time, I had not realized that Apurva D. Patel D actually stood for something. So students told me, don't you know that his middle name is D because he gives out Ds? So for a while, I actually thought that literally somebody had added that D in his name because of the strictness that he had. The second incident that I want to share with him, I don't know whether he remembers this or not. So IISc, of course, is a very difficult place for undergrads, budding physicists. So on one such occasion, an undergrad came to my office with his friend, and he said that I have made a remarkable discovery. I said, okay, so what is it? And then he said, he went to the board and then he drew a circle and said, imagine that the universe was on a circle. And then he spouted some set of words which didn't make any sense to me. He uncompactified the circle, did something. Then I realized that this person was under serious stress. And I had no experience how to handle such people. And in that, on that day, the only other person who was there in his office was Apurva. So I said, okay, the only person who can handle him is Apurva. So I sent him to Apurva. And then a couple of days down the line, I asked Apurva, did this character come to your office? How did you handle it? So he said that I tried to convince him whatever he was saying does not make any sense, but then he started shouting at me. So I sat down on my chair and I looked at the wall and I closed my eyes and let him continue. So that's an advice that many of you, if you ever encounter such a situation, you should take up. So far as my own research directions are concerned, Apurva has actually been influential on more than one occasion because he has been a very good bouncing wall. So if there was any project that had anything to do with quantum mechanics, I used to go and talk to him. And his immediate reaction was one of skepticism and of healthy skepticism. So if I could convince or semi-convince Apurva, the theorem that I sort of mentally proved to myself is that this is going to become a PRL. And on 2 occasions at least, that theorem worked out to be correct because I sort of semi-convinced him. He was never fully convinced. He was mostly skeptical of the physics and justifiably so. But I have to say that, one overarching thing that we want in our colleagues is integrity and honesty, and these two men have that in plenty, and that has inspired me, and I hope it continues to inspire other faculty members, junior faculty members for years to come, and I hope to see you around.